Alright. Hello. We're going to go ahead and get started here because it is 11:31 and our plan is we're going to take that template set we made the other day, and I have provided this template set in the description. Let me turn on my camera so I can actually talk to you face to face here. Oh, things aren't in the right spot. My mouse needs to be closer to me, so I don't have to stand up to do this. Okay. Hello. Yeah, the green screen's in the right spot. Perfect. Even though it doesn't work because the lighting is all over the place. It would be, it would be just a solid background and you would just see me in the chair, but not that. But I need lights here, and it's complicated. But as the description says, today we are going to go into Soundtrap and we're going to use the template we made yesterday to come up with a couple beats, with 2 beats precisely. And by no means am I going to start with those exact chord progressions that are there, those exact beats that are there, and I'm probably just going to scrap all of it and use pretty much just the tracks themselves and not the loops that are on them. I included the loops that were on all those tracks merely as an example. Oh, hello. How are you doing? Suppose I'll start my explanation over. How are you doing this morning? Tis a fine morning. It's quite stormy out. It's a good day for being inside and streaming. It's a great day for doing some Soundtrap stuff. So, as I had said at the start, I made this template project yesterday, and if you actually go to the description of this video, of this live stream, you can get access to that template set, and you can start working on it yourself and start from the same point that I'm starting. So, if you'd like to do that, I will go ahead and just wait for you to kind of catch up to where I am. And I'm going to try to go slow enough today so that someone could keep up and do the exact same things if they wanted. And like I had said, by no means we're going to use any of the loops that are there. I just included them as an example of something that you could have. So let me switch my view here. So I'm not exactly sure what you'll be able to see when you click on that link, but it will somehow, I believe, get you into this assignment. It's going to make a copy of this template project in all caps, and then you'll be brought into this webpage, as long as you're logged into Soundtrap, of course, and if you've joined the BVMP group and all that jazz that we dealt with on week 1. Yeah, and speaking about the weeks and how long this is just count 6 weeks forward from the first day, and that's how it is right now. And if you're really curious, I can talk to Kate. I'm gonna talk to Kate right after the stream, actually, because we have some stuff to discuss. But so I'm gonna leave it at that. But just a quick side note. I suppose I can switch the view for this. Quick side note about how long this is gonna go on. I'm thinking, well, as long as BVMP is not, physically able to be open and doing their thing in the building and in person and all that, we're going to try to keep this live thing going as long as it needs to go, and that may or may not be the length of the summer camp. I wasn't really treating this as a summer camp, but more of kind of like just putting knowledge out there on the internet and just having material available on the YouTube channel. Like that's kind of ultimately what it is going to end up being, is that these, of course, these all are going to be edited down to just the key parts, and then later on there's going to be more produced videos that have more than just me participating. That's going to be the whole crew participating and explaining a topic, and that's going to be somewhat down the line. But right now, we're streaming. I'm sharing music creation process, and that's that. And if you want to stay and stick around, then that's on you. Or in the case of maybe it's a parent that's forcing you to watch me. Oh God, I hope that's not it. But if that's the case, I'm gonna say 6 weeks for now. But I mean, it's just that's really not a hard deadline, I'd say. So, in my eyes, Ketchum might have a different view. Okay, back to the actual music creation. So, what do we have here? Let me make sure that you can hear this first of all, and I can hear this. We have a whole lot of tracks, and they're kind of organized into categories. So I'm going to move my camera over here so that you can better see what's happening. I'm going to close this down just so you can see this tab. All right. So this was created as sort of just a general, like, just kind of launching off point. Like, you could use any or all of these sounds or none of these sounds. And I'm going to use some, but I'm not going to use like the primary beat or chord progression or anything. So, hold on, I'm going to turn my headphones on real quick. So I have my coffee, so it's going to be a good day. All right, so let's listen to what I have put on here, what you have already provided to you. So I'm gonna just do this by unmuting everything. Right now everything is muted. That's why it's grayed out. So that's because this is soloed. So if I unsolo this, we'll go ahead and play it from measure 1, and we'll just hear what we have. Also, I had muted all of the transition effects for now. So, if we ignore the fact that this is so... this is quite annoying. I'm going to just turn down the frequency on this really quick. This pad, because... before it was sounding like this. I'm just going to leave it as is for now, because when you load it up, it's going to sound like this, so... Okay, so, yeah, this is in no way meant to sound coherent or good in any way, but there are a couple things we could do right off the bat in this. So, I'm going to go for something a little bit faster. First of all, we're going to look at the project settings itself. So, it's in the key of C. It's got a tempo of 120. This is where you start off. When you make a brand new project, your key will not be set, and your tempo will be 120. And what I might have explained in a previous stream, I say might have because I might have skipped over it or gone a little quick. But when you select the key in your project and you go into your loops browser over here on the right, I'm gonna move my face so you can see what I just did there. If you pop over here to the top right and look at your loop browser, all of the loops in this loop browser will be transposed to C, meaning it will be in the key of C, or it will be filtered to be in the key of stuff in the key of C. Whoa, I did not mean to zoom in that far there. Interesting. How did I? Well, that's the thing I can do apparently. If I zoom over here, it makes the whole DAW bigger. Yeah, be careful with that one, I guess. Alright, anyways. But yeah, all of these loops over here will be in the key of C. Unless they, of course, specify otherwise, D minor, E minor, F. Like this one will be, of course, in F. And if you look over here, there's also a way to filter which loops you use. So you can, if you want to work in C minor or C major. So like I've got the key selected as C major. So I'm going to choose C major for the scale filter over here. Let me launch my mouse program. This thing always decides to quit out on me. Okay, yeah, see, it's on, but it's not on. 1 second. So if you come here, you can filter which loops you want to see, and you could use either only major scale loops or minor scale loops. We're in the key of C major, so I'm going to filter it to major scale, and it will reduce the choices you have. Also, I'm going to get rid of this search query. So this is all of the loops in major, filtered by name, but of course you can narrow down the categories here. But first and foremost, what I'm going to do is raise the tempo, because I want to be able to preview the loops in the tempo that I want my project to be. So I don't want it to be 120. That's a boring tempo. That's the same tempo as minutes and seconds and whatnot. Like we're used to that. Yeah, no one wants to hear a song in 120. at least not me. 128. That's kind of good. That's kind of cool, because that's like a little bit faster than time. But I'm gonna go 140. Because that is the typical tempo for dubstep. We're not making dubstep, but I like this tempo because I'm just used to hearing stuff within it. And there's many genres that encompass this tempo, or that this tempo can work for. So let's go with that. Would you like to just hear audio data? Yes, sure. Why not? Let's do it. Give it some time to do that. Where it's doing all of this, it has to do a lot of like processing, and all of that stuff is done on a computer somewhere on some server far away, and it has to do all that processing and send it back to you. So it takes some time to get stuff like that done. But it's pretty fast. It's pretty fast in all things considered. So now if we were to play back our song. Okay, well that's going to play back our loop. I'm keep trying to press spacebar. It's not what you want to do. You're going to want to come down here and click on the playback controls down here at the bottom. Now you'll notice that, or I'm noticing that this basic verse, these drums are kind of just, they're not sounding great anymore. They're a good starting point. They really are only there to kind of tell you that the song is a song is typically broken up into, or a basic song could be broken up into 16 bar sections, and those 16 bar sections have different grooves. There's also a 4-bar break here, which is meant to just kind of give you two ways of starting. You have, and I didn't really flesh this one out as much, but the idea is you have a straight sounding section here, as opposed to a swinging section. Over here. And you'd have to adjust, of course. Well, I don't think you'd have to adjust very much. Just as a quick trial, let's move this chord progression over. If I can select both of them. Okay, I'll just select everything. By the way, I did that by holding down left click, dragging across, and then I'm going to hold down my Option key, and I'm going to drag over. That's going to create a copy of everything. I'm going to get rid of this pad. Actually, what I'm going to do is do it like this instead. And I'm going to edit the pad so that it's a little less harsh sounding. Let me listen to it on its own. Yeah, I'm not really sure if I want that sound to begin with. So I'm going to pick a different sound. You probably would want to pick one as well. It's not exactly the greatest sound on its own. It's meant for like a chorus related thing. In fact, we could listen to the preview. The preview is if you press play next to any of these presets, it kind of gives you a good idea of how the pad or how the patch is meant to be played. So let's kind of listen to this here. It's cool, but I like this oxygen pad, so I'm going to choose this one instead. And then what I'm going to do is choose a different set of notes. First, I'm going to raise these all an octave. And in other DAWs, there's an easy way to do this. Like, you can just select all the notes. And Logic, if you right-click, there's a way to raise everything an octave. In Ableton, it's literally Shift. You press Shift, and then and the up arrow, down arrow. In this, if you do that, if you hold Shift and press the up arrow, down arrow, it will move everything up a semitone. But, in fact, if I do Option Shift, no, I'm just curious. No, okay, so Shift, up or down are really only key shortcuts here. Okay. So, let's make this chord progression better somehow. What I'm going to do, or what my plan is, I'll just go over my general plan for all of this, for this first beat here. So, I'm not going to use this. I'm not going to use the straight one. It doesn't sound great at this tempo. In fact, before I do too much of that, I'm going to save this as a separate project, because I'm going to make multiple versions, right? And I'm going to come back to this start, and then I'm going to, make a separate beat. So it says in the title I'm going to make two. I'm going to make one that's kind of faster paced here, and then I'm going to try a slower paced one with a different sort of style. So I need to move a little faster here. Let's save this as template project 21 version 1. Okay. Oh, alrighty. Now we can keep going here. So I'd like to improve this chord progression. So first of all, I'm going to listen to what I have here. I'm thinking of something. Okay. I'm gonna try something here on the piano. Make sure I have the... I'll open up the view so you can see what I'm playing. So instead of playing triads, what I'm using here, I'm using 3-note chords, which are, just triads that are separated by either major or minor thirds, and they're based in the scale, right? We did a whole week, or maybe not a whole week, but day on this like 2 or so weeks ago that we talked about chords, and we mentioned that 3-note chords, or I had mentioned 4-note chords, and they are usually better and sound more interesting than 3-note chords. So first thing off the bat is we're going to have 4-note chords rather than 3-note chords. And we're also going to sort of simplify things. We're going to use 4 chords. This uses kind of 2 options here. I have a 1-6-2-5 and a 1-4-5-4. Gonna abandon I'm gonna abandon both of those. I'm gonna use here we're gonna start on the 1 like we normally do with a chord progression. I'm going to actually throw in a 7 though, and make it a C major 7 chord. And then another thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to space these out so that they are taking up twice as much space as normal, as they did before, so that the chord progression happens slower. Because just to compensate for the beat being a little faster, and I don't want the chords to change as quick. So, and that'll give me more room to do a certain thing within that chord. And I might not even do just like this style of progression. I might even cut it down to 3 chords. 3, 4. Let's listen to this. Let's listen to that. Okay, I've got an idea. What I'd like it to do is sort of I'm just going to create it rather than try to describe. And I'll describe after it's done. Let's see. So I've got 1 major 7 here, and then I've got a B dominant 7, which is serving as a dominant right now because when you remember the 5-1 motion with we talked about 4-note chords. There are 4 types. There was the major 7, where you had a major chord on the bottom, major triad, then I should probably show you the keyboard while I'm playing this. And a major triad on the bottom, and you can't see it because my face is in the way, of course. You have a major triad on the bottom, and then a major 7 on top, and then you have the minor 7, which is a minor chord on bottom, minor triad on the bottom, and then a minor third on top. By the way, if you were to play a 1 chord, a 1/7 chord in C minor, then it would end up being this quality because you have, oops, you have the 1, 3, 5, 7 are already in the key. Similarly, in major, if you were to play just the notes in the C major scale, or the scale degrees 1, 3, 5, and 7. So 1, 3, 5, 7. It ends up being a 1/7. So this is a diatonic chord, right? So the diatonic seventh chord for the start, diatonic being in the key. Trying to sort of stay in the key, but if we go down the line, we're gonna ignore the actually we might not. We might use them. The diminished and augmented sevenths, but I say we stick with minor and major sevenths. Those are kind of easier to understand, I suppose. Then you have examples like, what if you have a major chord on the bottom and then a minor 3 or a minor third on top, so it ends up being like this. Well, that actually is a special name. It's called the knock on wood. This one actually is called the dominant seventh. Has a special purpose. It is meant to lead back to a tonic chord, and in this scale, the tonic chord is C major. So this chord here, and the dominant is naturally on the 5. So if I were to go to the 5, the 5th scale degree, that is. If I were to go there, the G, I'm going to move to the piano. That might be an easier sound to understand from. Yeah, that's better. Also, bring this down here so you can see what I'm playing. Perfect. So, that's our tonic chord. Our tonic chord can also be this, which is what we're using in this case. And the 5, if I were to play a 7 chord on the 5 with all of the notes in the C major scale. Oops. So 1, 3, 5, 7. You end up, or I guess in the scale degrees it'd be 5th scale degree, 7th scale degree, 2nd, and then 4th. So, and that, if you were to play just those diatonic notes, that ends up being a dominant chord. And that has the tendency to want to, because of leading tones, and rather than go back into that explanation today, you can refer back to the video where we talk more about leading tones. And then that is meant to lead back into the tonic, just by the nature of this quality. Never mind. I have a useless notification. So, with that information, you can technically say, if we have a dominant chord, or if we make a dominant chord using any note, that has a tendency to lead into a tonic somewhere, and that tonic is, or may not be in the same key. So in this example, I have and that was all leading up to this. In this example, I have a 1/7. I'm going to move this up to the piano so it's easier to hear. I have a 1/7, and then I have a 7, a dominant chord on the 7th scale degree, which is a B major 7th. And a B major 7th, well, what scale you'd have to ask yourself, what scale is B the 5 of? And you do some counting back in your head. You think, okay, what? Or you could think, all right, if you have a dominant chord that's based on some note, it's meant to lead. Well, of course, you need to know what the root of that is. If it's in root inversion, then it's easy. But if you say, for example, have the B up here, it might not be immediately noticeable that this is a dominant chord. So there's lots of kind of intricacies to it. Like, you might not be able to tell right away by some of the techniques that I'm saying. Like, you might not be able to say, okay, what's the root of this chord by looking at the bottom when you like, just because these are root inversion, I can tell. Like, this is a B dominant 7th. But, you know, it takes practice, and it takes some practicing of music theory to do so, or to get better at chords, I suppose. And in the future, we will, since I'm not exactly, admittedly, I'm not exactly the best at explaining the music theories, but with the help of more of the BVMP crew later in the line, and some more produced videos and later live streams that may include more people, this could be explained in a different light and maybe experimented with better and conveyed better. So I apologize if any of this is not getting across as it should, as I hope it, as I intend it to. So what we have here is a 1/7, and that leads into a B dominant 7, which is the 5 of, if we count up from B, C, D, E, B, C, D, E. So the B is, I'll just give away the answer. The B is the 5th of E. So in E major, the B major 7, or B dominant 7, is the 5/7 of E major. So we have that motion here. So you have the 5 leading to 1. But this 1 is kind of like a temporary 1. It's like, it's a tonic, but it's not the home tonic. It's like it's a temporary key shift, I guess you could say. But then I'm going to use literally the next chord to lead us back into 1/7 here. So it's going to be kind of like a cyclical thing here. It's gonna boom 5 to E major 7, which is the 3 in C major. So we land out here on E major 7. Or actually, this is not E major 7, excuse me. This is E minor 7, because we have E, G. If it were E major 7, this would be up here, and this would be up here. So it would be E, G sharp, B, D sharp. But I have it as minor 7. Let's hear how it sounds with the E major 7. It might be not bad. It's possible. It is a possibility. Actually, I'm gonna leave it in. I'm gonna try to get something to work with it here. I'm going to try something here. I'm going to try using a diminished seventh, but inverting it. Let's just hear how this sounds as is. No, I'm not feeling it. So, let's see. Let's just try that. Yeah, that's pretty good. So that is a... So this isn't exactly a... This is a dominant chord. This ends up making a dominant on D flat. Right here. See, D flat, F, A flat. That's a D flat major with a minor 7. But I find that there is actually a use for the flat 2 in classical theory, but I'm not going to go into it too much. But here I am using a dominant chord that leads nicely back into 1. It's meant to technically lead somewhere else, but I think in this context it sounds pretty good. So let's just play through this here. So I'm kind of thinking that I want this to change a little bit late. So it's gonna go bum 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 2 3 ba dum. So 1 2. Let's see if this did it. 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. And then it's gonna repeat. So. And maybe it could repeat, but that that last chord could be different the next time. Let's maybe make it a minor 7 instead of a major, instead of a dominant 7. Yeah, that's kind of a small change that gives it enough variation. So here it's a dominant 7th, and here it's a minor 7th. Okay, I've gotten another idea. Maybe this one this E major 7 that gets extended, we could change its quality as well. So let's change it to a minor 7 instead of a major 7th. So 2 notes need to shift down. Our 7 and our 3rd need to come down. And then we have our E minor 7. So based on an E minor triad with a minor 3rd on top. And you saw the shift. I just needed to shift the 3rd and the 7th down a semitone, and it made it a minor 7. How convenient. One, two, three. Okay, let's try taking this. So then I'm going to remove all of that. No need for any of this anymore. We'll lay out our clean sub to follow this progression now. Easy enough. All I got to do is zoom in enough so that I can see the MIDI that I've written in up here, and I can see the clip down here, and I just have to make sure that the chords line up with the bass. So here we have a problem. this chord changes here, but the bass note changes on only whole notes. So we need to make a change here. Also, they're the wrong notes. We need a C, a B, an E, and a D flat. And that E needs to extend out to exactly to measure 4, and then the first up to the first 16th note of measure 3. I'm going to zoom out enough so that it's kind of clear. Yeah, so right here now the grid is divided into 16th notes. So this is right where the chord changes. It changes on measure 3 and changes to D flat. So that should be the baseline for both, because all I did for the second half was change the quality of some of the chords, so that I can just copy that over. And now let's take a listen. Oops, I did it a little early. It needs to be on actually the fourth measure. Wait a minute. Okay. Oh, it's right there. Okay, I was zoomed in too much. 1, 2, and 3, 4. Okay, I think it was actually on an 8th note. Yeah, it was the 8th note of 3. I said the 16th note, I meant the 8th note. 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Let's correct this one as well. Boom. And what we could do is vary the bass line in the second half by using notes that are, using different notes in the chord as our bass instead of just the first. Instead of just the root. I'll keep the root here, I'll play C, and then for our B dominant 7th, we have several options. We have B, we have our D sharp, we have our F sharp, and our A to choose from. I'm going to try the D sharp. Let's see how that sounds. So we'll go up here. So now we are on the 3rd. What I'm going to do also is kind of make the first 1/7 chords extend a little longer, and this dominant 7th act at the same rhythm as this. So I'm going to have this rhythm repeat twice. So it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, dominant, 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, dominant, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's going to be better. So let's move this back so that they are 3 grid spaces long. Same for this one and this one. Okay, and same for the bass. This is actually what spurred me to do this is I like the tension that this bass note creates by using the 3rd, but I don't want it to extend on too long, so kind of shortening it out. Let's hear this now. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 1, 2. And maybe for that last note, we use the whole last measure. So we bring this back. So it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the last one. Yeah, that's a good chord progression. So I'll use that instead of what was there. Can delete that as well. We don't need that there. Move this back. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. These drums can go. I'm gonna move the swung drums back. Let's hear it with the swung drums. Dude. Okay, perhaps we'll use swing in a later project. I'm gonna remove those as well. Let's look for a different kind of set of loops here. Look for a different starting point, because yeah, that beat is very cookie cutter. Very, very cookie cutter. Hold on, my stream might be lagging a little bit, so let me look at why that's happening. My game clients might be downloading something right now. That is not the case. Okay, I don't know why I'm dropping frames. That's fine. You should be still getting a pretty clear picture. Just let me know in chat if I'm lagging a little bit, or if I'm dropping out some words or whatever. If you can't hear me clearly, and I'll look at why that's happening again. But we'll just press on for now, because I still have another beat to make. Alrighty, so if we can include all of these transition effects. Okay, well, I can have some of those or none of those, but we need an appropriate drum kit to come in. So let's look through. Boom, 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 boom. These are kind of good. Now, this isn't going to be the main beat. I'm going to use MIDI for that. But this is going to be something that's just happening in conjunction. I like to have like multiple like beats stacked on top of each other. So let's try from a different category. Maybe vibrations got some good ones. It's taking a while to load. Must be pretty good then. Bum, bum. Yeah. These aren't the greatest. Tribal? This might be like toms or kind of pitched drums. Let's hear what it sounds like. I have no idea. Nah. It's not really the mood. Not really the mood, but not really what I'm going for. Might be what you're going for. In that case, drums, tribal. That's what you want to pick, but not me. Not me. I'm going to keep looking. It's taking a while to load things. Let me see if maybe I have like some downloads happening somewhere. No, it's not the case. Excuse that little disconnect. I really don't know what's going on here. I'm not sure. So, it says my stream is lagging a little bit, so I'm just trying to take care of that business. Doesn't appear anything's on here. I need to close this out. Okay, and it's fine. It's fine. Maybe it's just because I'm previewing a lot of loops. I doesn't have this problem though. Let's look in beats. Okay, that filters it down a little bit. Let's look in Milky. Well, wait a minute. Okay, so what are these actually? Oh, I didn't mean to load it. Whoops. Okay, of course now I need to delete this track. Fun. Let's listen to this here. Yeah, this is nice. I'll put it on electric drums. Well, it needs a kick now, doesn't it? I'm gonna add another track beneath it. That'll just be... excuse me. That will just be for the kick. Because... well, the milky kick might sound pretty good, because this does now give us a drum kit to play. Does not sound bad. But, I'm going to... oh, you know what? Well, just for simplicity's sake, I'll use this kick. It sounds fine. It does. Gonna... kind of experimenting here with some kick patterns. Let's go into patterns and do it. Do I want to quantize them? Fine. Let's do it in this view. So I want to start the kick out at measure 9. So I'm going to come here with our playhead, go to measure 9, and I'll start drawing in some kicks. So I'm going to put one on the downbeats. I put some on the downbeats. Actually, I don't need to bother putting them there because if we have the loop going, then it will repeat what's happening from here. So if you put on cycle, oh, what's happening here? Oh wait, I see. Okay, so yeah, let's just edit from measure 9 to measure 13, because everything will repeat there. So, boom, so 1, 2. I want to have a kick here. So let's hear that. Let's put it on the 8th note instead of the 16th. That's a little early. Boom, cut, boom, cut, boom. And then I'll have one here. So, boom. So I'm kind of going for like a trap-like beat. By the way, because this kit sort of lends itself to that. Like, I was going for that in the first place, but you know, this just kind of like just gave you the lock and key, and it's just like, here you go. Here's all the sounds you need, and yeah, it's turning out quite well. Might edit that snare pattern too. Sounds pretty good, but boom, 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 boom. Maybe get rid of that little rim shot there. Put in like a bunch, or like some here, perhaps. Maybe that's too many. Check. Let's put that somewhere else. Let's try a different pattern for that. But check. Dun dun. So, where is that? Measure 12. Oh, this here. Let's put it as 2/16 notes at the end of the measure instead. Maybe that kick is a little busy there. Yeah, that's cool. I'll stick with that. Let's move our chord progression down the line. Let's use a pad instead of the piano. Piano's boring. Let's put the loop region on so I have to keep restarting it. I'm going to throw an EQ on the end so to kind of tame it a bit. I can go ahead and put it through an amp too, if I want. Oh, well that one's dramatic. Okay, maybe not the guitar amp. Okay, this is great and all, but I don't want it to be so bright right off the bat, so I'm going to throw a filter on the end. What I would like to do is slowly bring this out. If I were doing some mock-up beat in Ableton or something like that, I would start to bring this filter out automatically. Of course, there's a limitation in Soundtrap for that, so what I'm going to do instead is just create a tame version of this pad with a slower attack, really slow attack, not too slow that I can't hear these smaller chords. There we go. Let's try adding the bass. Getting rid of the bass here. Let's lower the bass down an octave. Much better. Now it's actually a bass instead of some like a mid-range thing. It was too high. It was too up. It was too high of an octave. Now, I'm kind of noticing this is sounding a lot like strings, isn't it? And, well, what do you know? We have a string track right below it ready for us to blend the two together. I would like to blend organic strings with synthetic strings. I guess I could call this synthetic strings because it sort of sounds like that. So what I'm going to do is take a copy of this MIDI, move it down to strings. Let's solo the strings so that I can hear just them. Okay, what can we adjust with the strings section? And also, we have a couple options when it comes to our string sound. So I'm going to take a look through a couple of these because I'm not too sure that I like the stock, excuse me, the stock string section sound. Maybe a viola chamber might sound okay. Give it time to load. Hey, might be worth trying. Ah, is that... Okay, no, it's just taking a long time for the samples to load. Stream still says it's struggling a lot. I hope it doesn't look or sound too bad. Okay, it's fully loaded. What if I lower these notes by an octave? It's always a good thing to try. So it's a B3, let's lower it to a B2. I selected everything and did that. Let's do it to the second clip as well. Okay. Let's sort of blend it with the pad. So what I'm going to do is bring this pad's volume all the way down and slowly bring it up, and then I'm going to do a trick that I've been doing this whole time, where if I have two instruments that are playing the exact same thing, serving the exact same purpose, I will pan them left and right. So I'll put some in the left ear, some in the right ear, so that you could hear, you know, two different timbres going on, and you get an interesting sounding like stereo image. But for now, we're just going to try to blend the two together and see how they sound. First thing you'll notice right away is the pad tends to just immediately take over any of the strings. Like, it's really hard to hear the strings. So I'm controlling the volume of the track so that each has its own. Each kind of has similar levels. It's kind of hard to tell right now what their levels are because all we see are bars and notes. We don't see actual volume levels. So it's kind of up to you to listen and get a good balance of them yourself. And using the pan trick also helps. So let me actually extend these. Oops. Let me extend this out so that I think there should be a way to see the volume on all of these tracks, but Guess I'm just gonna have to look at the track itself. If I open this up. I'm looking for an easy way to see volume. There should have been a volume slider on this. But, oh well. That's fine. Yeah, I just have to balance them by ear. Let's mute all the transition effects right now. We don't really need them. Let's go up here and add a little melody now. So in the melody group, we've got a couple options. We've got our mic that we could sing our own melody, but I'm not going to do that because I'm terrible at that. We're going to try the drippy pluck sound. Okay, well, we have to hear it first, so make sure it's soloed. Uh-oh, what happened to it? I think my keyboard disconnected. What happened? Okay, yeah, see, he says disconnected. Oh, yeah, my head is covering it. My MIDI keyboard deciding to not play. There he is. There it is. Nice. Let's try another sound. This is not exactly the greatest. Dubstep growler. Oh. Might not be the best either, but. Ooh. That's a fun patch. Each key has like a different little bass figure. Nice. A really harsh lead for dubstep as well. I'm looking for a more pluck-like. Let's just go through the patches ourselves. Popcorn. Rusty trap bells. Well, that has my name written all over it. Well. Oh, it's got a little kind of pitch bend effect there. It's every time I change a note. Or is it random? I'm trying to tell what's happening here. You know, I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to play the instrument. I think I'm getting that. very simple melody, just playing an E minor chord and kind of going in between. You know, when it's playing that E major 7th chord, I change the third to a G sharp. I can even use that C above there if I wanted to. Let's try something. I know I got some notes wrong. That one there, it doesn't go to E major 7 the second time, so that's meant to be a G. Those notes aren't meant to be stacked. That's meant to be a note here. I'm gonna do that. Buena, buena. Yeah, that's nice. So there's our little beat. Nice and easy. We've still got lots of things to add. Let's add in those transition effects and hear how they all help this thing along. Let's play from the beginning, and then we will make something. We'll make something else. We'll start back at where the template was in the beginning. We have another viewer, so I will, of course. It was the original plan, but we will start another beat. But yeah, you could see how just in a matter of about an hour or so, I've used the template to come up with a pretty nice sounding start here. So, at least in my opinion. There you go. Like, it's not too hard. I'll just, all I did, there was a chord progression here, 1625 or 1454. Changed it out for something more interesting using chords with 4 notes and dominants. I added, there was already a bass line, so I made the bass line match that. I arranged it out so the pad started, and then the strings, and then I layered this pad sound with a string sound to compromise the harmony section. This harmony track is just a piano that I started out by, I played the chords on the piano so I could figure it out, and then I doubled it to strings. So I took the pads, doubled it to strings, balanced out the volumes, and these transition effects were already there, so that just kind of gives us an idea of when this is a final song and you're bringing in a section, this kind of gives you like a quick way to like, all right, well, what would this sound like if there were proper transitions in place? And this sounds like something I would be proud of, right? Right? Gives you kind of a quick way to experiment with an intro section and a drop section, a beat, where you have the beat come in. This is also a quick way to mock up, like this is an extremely quick way to mock up something that you could rap over. Like you've already got your beat here, trap bells, like, well, I found this preset, but this was another pluck sound, and I just replaced it with something that said trap bells, and I could, for example, drag another beat on top, and there's still lots more to do with this, but I'm going to save this. I'm going to hop back to the starter preset, or the starting template. Okay, give it time to save here. Open recent. All right. So we're back to the basic stuff that you were given. Geez, what a difference, huh? Yeah, your chords here, bass line for the chords, some extra sounds, but we're gonna leave them alone for now. And we're just gonna mute this, and we're gonna mute that. And let's decide, first of all, what is the song's key? Let's choose something else besides C major, because C major is just boring. Let's choose G minor. Yeah, sure, fine, do that. Okay. So we're in G minor now. I think it changed the... Yes, it did. It changed the chords as well. And let's slow down. Let's actually... In this one, in the other one, I sped the tempo up. Let's slow the tempo down in this one. Let's go down to like 85. Sure, do that again, I guess. It says I'm dropping a lot of frames. I'm concerned. Let's see if this helps. I wonder what is taking it a while to do. Oh, you know what? I've noticed that the transition effects have kind of looped themselves now. So we'll have to go in and fix some things, but that's no big issue. What is the bigger issue here is whether or not this will load. Man, my internet is bad. It is terrible today. Yeah, I apologize for this one. I don't know why it's taking so long to change the tempo. I just made a minor change. Okay, now it's gone back to 0. Oh. I will be right back. Go ahead and, I guess, take a bathroom break, guys. Like I'm going to. Oh well, it appears it's chugging along. It is definitely chugging along, but I have to do something real quick. So, give me a quick second here, and I'll be right back, y'all. Hopefully, this will have finished its job by then. All right, brilliant. It's finished. Start on a metronome. So, I'm only going to make a minor change to this. Well, yeah, I'm only going to make a minor change here. So, we'll stick with our 1625. We're gonna make seventh chords out of them, though. I'm gonna move this up. Oops. Don't want to add a seventh in there. Make this a dominant seventh. Actually, instead of this being a dominant seventh, I'm going to make it a diminished seventh. And then we'll change the rhythm of the chords. Firstly, I'm going to make it so that this has a minor seventh, and then the seventh lowers. I'm actually going to change other elements of the chord there too. I have to re-trigger these notes. Let's extend this one out a little bit. So here I have another use of a dominant chord in a non an incorrect way, I guess you could say, but it's working out, I think. So we have a 1 major 7, and then a inverted we have an inverted 6, because this is the 6 is also minor. So it's an E minor 7, but the E is raised to the top. So it has a lot of similar notes to the first chord, but it's actually an E minor 7 instead of a G major 7. Very small change. I might even change one of these notes here. Make it more interesting. Well. One, two, three, four, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I kind of want the rhythm out here to change a bit. 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4. Nope, that changes on 4. I want it to change on the and of 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3. I'm even gonna separate this out because this kind of serves a. This is more diminished. I'm gonna split this. Can I split the note? Oh, whoops, nope. That's not what I wanted to do. What I'm gonna do is lower it down to the B flat in the latter half of the measure. In the first half, I'm gonna keep it a B. Of course, I need to again re-trigger the other notes for it to make sense. So we started with a 4-chord progression, and we ended up with a 6-chord progression. Why not? Why not? But a lot of these, or 2 of these actually, don't happen for very long. So I'm considering them, or they are considered what's known as passing chords. So they're not really, we're not really staying in that key, in that chord for too long. Its function is more to just transition into another chord that lasts a little bit longer. So like our main chords here will be the 1 major 7, the minor 6, or 6 minor 7, and that one there is a diminished, a half diminished 7, and I've raised the E to the top, and it serves as a nice lead into, because it's kind of it's got some tension, like the chord's got a little bit of tension, and that leads into our in this case the 2 minor 7, because it's the 2 in G minor or G major. Actually, this is a major 7. Maybe I want to make this a minor 7. So how would that sound? How's that sound? 2. That might actually sound better if we start with a G minor 7. 2, 3. Let's loop it. Let's hear how it sounds going back into the tonic. So 1, 2, and 3, 4. Ooh. Oh. Let's leave it up there. And we can scrap that. We can scrap this. We don't need any of these drum tracks. Get out of here. We don't need any of that. That's just an example for you guys. Okay, so we have our harmony. We have our chords. Let's move it to the pad, and let's find a cool pad sound that will work. I'll show Frank the beat here. Let's find a beat to put on top of this. We're gonna try to choose one that's audio this time. It's actually not that bad. Cool. Sticks. I want to keep that in mind. If you find one that you particularly like, you can add it to your favorites, and then if you click that, you can see all your favorites. So I'm going to add that beat to my favorite because that's a really cool one, and I might use that later on. I'm just going to click randomly on beat and see what we got here. Give it some time to load, of course. Oh, Electro Trash Weird. Let's try that one. Come on now. Load, why don't you? Really is taking a while today. I don't even like it. Let's try to choose one that's a little more calm, or a little more relaxed. Jazz? Relaxed neo soul? Let's give it a try. Ooh. I like that one. Oh, let's take it. Nothing stopping us. Except the fact that I don't see any notes in this clip. Oh, they're all up here. What in the world? Okay, fine. Let's bring these over. Loop this. I'm gonna find another beat to go on top of this. Let's play Flesh Out. This one sounds interesting. It's a new as well. This one's not bad either. Maybe I... Okay, I've got an idea. What if I take Flesh Out 2, drag it onto Affected Electric Drums. That's going to override all the settings, so I don't need to worry about that sounding any different than it will. Then I'm going to go into Electric Drums, and I'm going to let the kick of Affected Electric Drums take priority. So I'm just going to remove all of the kick sounds from this. So I'm going to solo this track, and we'll find which of these notes in the piano roll serve as the kick note. And I'm thinking this one, it's this one down here at the bottom. Yep. So for now, we're just going to get rid of all of those. Delete. And we're left with this. Just that top beat. And let's hear how it sounds with what I just added. Another thing I'm going to do is, because we have the snare happening, it's like the snare's happening in halftime while the beat above it is in normal time. So we're getting the snare happening on the downbeats sometimes, and that's not good. So what I'm going to do is go into the Affected Electric Drums track and just remove the snare from that one. This one. Don't need it. Don't need it. Goodbye. Did I get rid of it? No. Get rid of that. And now we're left with this. I kind of like how the kick is really sparse. I kind of want to add one there, though. Yeah, I like that. Let's hear it with the chords. Let's hear it with the pad sound alone. It's gonna be kind of eh. Well, maybe. It's a hard maybe. It's a hard maybe. I pressed randomize once and it... Okay, that's cool. I like that a lot, actually. Ooh! What? You hear the, like... It sounds like bubbles, or almost. That's awesome. I just pressed randomize one time and it all of a sudden gave me this really cool sounding... I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised. That worked out so well. So obviously not going to use the piano in the final product, but this could benefit from another pad, maybe. So let's duplicate our harmony track, and we'll pick a different pad here. And this could maybe even be like a rhythmic pad of some sort. Yeah, I'll try doing like a rhythmic pad. So, first of all, we're going to pick a sound. I kind of like this trance duck pad. I'm going to go in here and tweak the amount of LFOs going on. Make it attack. Oh, okay. Maybe not so much reverb. And I'm going to throw on a high pass filter at the very end. It's even got a rotary on it. Nice. Okay, let's hear it together with the other harmony track. Not with the original piano. Let's balance the two. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Let's add in a little melody now. Let's do it with the flute, perhaps. I wonder what happened. I think my keyboard cut out again. Yeah, it did. Darn. My cable just came loose. That's all that happened. Need to reconnect it here so I can play a melody. Disconnected. And maybe I could find a melody in the loop browser. Maybe you could find a melody in the loop browser. Let's try. Where would I even begin? Well, why not? Just scroll down and look around and see what we've got. Sound effects, sound effects, sound effects, tons and tons and tons and tons and tons. Synth, heavenly bells. Well, how does that sound? Really into bells today, aren't I? Just curious. I really just... Oh, I totally know it's gonna not work because it's not the same chord at all. Yeah, never mind. Okay. Didn't even need to hear it. Just got rid of that one right away. Ooh, that's not bad. Let's hear the other versions of it. Problem is, they're in G major. Yeah, that one's a G major. Ba-da-da, if it wasn't. Let's try that one. It works, but not in the way I'd like it to. I like to actually have some sort of melody to it instead of just like falling. Ah, well. That sort of works. If only I could change the notes around. Because I would totally change the notes slightly to match the chords there. But I like that. I like that. So what I'm going to do is leave that there. And maybe we'll have interjections of it here and there. So I'll have like a... And then something else could come in. And then maybe... And then some sort of response from something else. A call and response sort of deal. Well, let's look at some other options then. Orchestra hit and brass swell, and no. New level. That could be anything. Okay, that's pretty bad. We're looking for more melodic material. Not pads. We're going to skip past all the pads. Stabby. Let's try it. See what it sounds like. Nope. Suave life? It's a nice pad, but it's not exactly what I want. Trophy ARP? Oh yeah, ARPs might be nice. Let's look for ARPs. Got a couple. Not very many. Oh, some nice sound effects. We already tried those, didn't we? Yeah, I could just go ahead and change the notes around slightly in that and get that to work. That's nice. Oh man, I meant to split. And then join them together. So we get one long region. And then I can go in here to my note editor. So click on the instrument, bring up the piano roll, and we can start to change the notes around. So we've got a D, G, D. So that is just the 5 and the 1. So lots of these notes work in a lot of places, but I kind of want to change some around. So for this chord, I want to have like a you get the idea. All right. Maybe I'll leave the top note the same. I'll move these up to an A. Oops. I'll move up to E here. Oops. that. Let's hear that. Okay, that'll work, yeah. Okay, and then we can repeat. So split. And repeat. And then I'll start changing the notes around some more. Whoops. Need to zoom in some. These actually need to be an F. Yeah, that works. Okay. Let's hear the lead 4 with it. Since these kind of serve as melodies, I'm going to move them up to the melody area. Where is it? I need to scroll up some more. Okay, so we have our lead pour serving as a melody. We have our gone art serving as sort of a melody. And what I'm going to do is have this not repeat. So I was going to do a call and response, so I'm going to slice out the second half of all of these loops and just include... Actually, I'm going to use the secondary versions later on like this, so kind of spread them out more. Yeah, so on and so forth. Also, I'm going to add fades to the beginning of each of these clips here, just so they come in a little nicer. Yeah. Also, I'm going to delay them a little bit, so they're like, so they kind of extend on and sound cooler. So, add effect, delay, sure. I'm going to adjust the time until it sounds good. It's probably good. Alright, cool. I'm also going to throw on a guitar amp because that's kind of like a guitar sound. So, let's go ahead and throw on that. Bass amps. R&B guitar, sure. Yeah, that's good. Alright, that sounds good. Let's hear it coming in from the beginning, and yeah, just kind of just go over this whole thing here. Anything else that I left untouched? There is this upper bass lead. I'm going to just mute this for now. We're not really using that. And I'm going to unsolo everything so everything is unmuted. There we go. We'll unmute the transition effects. Leave this muted. Oh, I forgot to do the sub. Let's do that real quick. Also need to move this back. And just do this pad to start. Okay, so let's go to our piano roll, zoom in, get the bass just right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I can actually use 2 notes for this, or either I can use the D, that also works. I'm going to bring it back up to an A there. Extend it out. Added an extra note. Here too. Keep this beat going beforehand. We don't need this one. Yeah, that's not necessary. Transition effects could be swapped out, of course. Yeah, they're not exactly the best for this. I would pick something a little more subtle. Can even get rid of this crash here. Cut. What is this? Yeah, no. Let's go to sound effects. I just want to find something that works better for this. There's a whole category for this kind of stuff, by the way. So that might work better. Also, I'm going to cut off the stutter effect early. Bring that forward a bit. And there you have it. That is 2 beats done with this template, with very, very minor changes. Well, I wouldn't say very, very minor, but I didn't have to add too many extra tracks, and I just kind of followed a similar pattern. Just as long as I as long as you keep yourself organized and kind of stay within the groups here, like you've got the melody group, the drums group. You can sort of add tracks. They'll add down at the bottom, but then you can sort of grab them. If you grab them, and you can shift them around and reorganize them. I'm keeping sound effects down here at the bottom. Why is astrology there? That must have been from a loop I added earlier. I could delete that one. Got sound effects down here at the bottom. Drums at the top. Melody stuff, including that mic track that's unused for now. A lead track, which I put under melody because it sort of plays a melody, and then the Gone ARP, which I picked from the loop browser, brought in here, modified some notes. Drippy Pluck, which I haven't used, which it was part of the template. Yo, man. Tristan Beats. Yo, man, what's up? Flute. I haven't used that one either, but that's also there for y'all. Steel Pan Synth, that was another one that was part of the template. That's a nice synthesized steel pan if you'd like to go that route. Then we have Harmony, that's another piano track, and below that, Copy of Harmony, which I forgot to rename, but that is simply just a pad with some of the, and I opened up the tweak and I moved some of these knobs around. This pad below it, I actually opened up a patch and then I pressed the randomize button and I ended up with this really cool sounding watery pad. You can hear that kind of bubbly effect. I didn't do that. I just pressed randomize and it ended up sounding like that, and it's really cool. So I left that in. I'm actually just gonna call this I'll name it appropriately, bubbly pad. And this I'll call LFO duck pad. Strings, unused, clean sub, I just put that in. I'm going to move the clean sub to after measure 9 because so there's no sub at the beginning and then the sub comes in with the beat. Upper bass, unused, it's just, I can just delete this clip. And then all down here is the transition effects. So, once again, play through it, and then that will be all for today. What is the style of the beat? You know, I guess I could say you could call this like a slow trap, slow R&B. You know, if you ask me about genres, I really couldn't, because when I think of creating music, I think of creating beats. I don't really think in terms of a genre, so it's kind of hard for me to, and I don't really listen to music by like a lot, like just saying, oh, I want to listen to. I mean, there are of course wide categories where you know what you're gonna get, like dubstep and trap and future bass, and I guess you could kind of call this like a future. But there's so many like subcategories of EDM. It's like, why at this point, why even bother classifying it? It's just, I guess you could say EDM. That we'll just say slow, chill EDM. I guess you could say. That's a couple of the descriptor words you could use. But yeah, I'm not too good at classifying things, and plus it's only 8 measures. I mean, it's only 16 measures so far. But yeah, kind of like a slow R&B sort of. This could be a start of a hip hop thing as well. Like say if you had a I don't know, if you had a rapper over it and it becomes hip hop, like R&B. It's can't really tell you at this stage. Nor can I tell you at the final stage because I don't like to kind of restrain. I don't like to think in terms of a certain genre and limit myself in that way. I just like to put things that sound cool together. So yeah, a really long-winded answer to just say I don't know. but um, but yeah, the first one was definitely trap. That's for sure. Definitely trap because of the drums and that bell sound also kind of contributed. It could lend itself to it. Um, right. But there you go. Two completely unique beats with that template project. Again, to get to it yourself, it is in the description. If you are a BVMP student and you are doing the virtual summer camp thing, then yeah, you have access to that. Otherwise, if you're just passing by, then Soundtrap, you just go to soundtrap.com, get yourself an account, get a free trial, and click on the link in the description. And I don't know, I think I have to add you to a group. Personally, I do music style remix. It's a great mix of two style. Example, I use electro shuffle and made a dubstep remix to make a song like that. I always do trap rap beats for rappers. Yeah, yeah. You don't really want to have, unless you're like, what's the? There's one rapper that's specifically does raps for dubstep artists. It's not. I'll think of the guy's name next stream, but it's like, but yeah, when you have a, I don't I, I don't really want to. I don't want to weigh in on it too much because I haven't done too many beats for vocalists. I've done a few, but like in my personal production, it's just a lot of synths and a lot of drum and sound design kind of stuff. I always do trap rap beats. Yeah, good advice there. Okay, so I'm gonna call up here today because normally these stop at around 1:30, and I have something to do today. So hope you enjoyed the stream, and thanks for sticking around. And yeah, we'll be back here tomorrow, same time, 11:30. That's when the stream starts, and we're gonna do something similar to this. We may develop some of these beats we started today, or do a more focused kind of educational thing. Depends. I kind of just make these plans up as I go. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, it's just me making music, streaming it to the interwebs, and hoping that you all get something out of it, whether or not you are part of BVMP or just someone who has already been in the industry and done some stuff for himself, like Tristan. And Tristan, thank you for sticking around, by the way. That is that right? Today is Tuesday, so it's actually I never changed this. It's supposed to be tomorrow. Whoa. Wednesday. Yep. That is the one. That is the time. That is the place. The place is here. The time is there.